Even during the pandemic, there's still a lot of political news to talk about. We have the new North America Free Trade Agreement coming into effect tomorrow on Canada Day. Alberta's looking to reboot their economy. And of course, the Conservatives asking for a probe into outsourcing of a federal student grant program. And for more on this, I'm joined by Laura Stone. And Laura, I don't know, can you see the fact that I have Canada flags everywhere? I know you spent a lot of years in
I
Ottawa.
can, and I
Are you
love
missing
it. I
Ottawa for
love it.
Canada Day? Are you missing Ottawa
I
on
am.
Canada Day?
I am. It's a great place to be on Canada Day, Parliament Hill, the concerts, all the people, but, a backyard barbecue is just as good. I'm very happy to do that this year.
You're nearby me, so if you need anything, any decorations to borrow, I have plenty of them for you.
I do. I need to know where to go, so I'm going to email you after this.
Okay. Hey, let's talk about the new NAFTA. This is the agreement that doesn't really have an official name, or the official name changes depending on what country you're in. It is signed. It comes into effect tomorrow. What does this mean in terms of our relationship, not only with the U.S. and trade, but also with U.S. President Donald Trump?
Well, look, I think Canada has had a strained relationship with the United States under US President Donald Trump. It comes at a very interesting time. The border with the US is closed until at least July 21st over COVID-19 concerns. And we've heard from some premiers, even Premier Doug Ford, for instance, in Ontario, saying that he wants that to stay closed. He doesn't want the border to be reopened right now. Of course, I think a lot of Canadians were relieved when this deal finally happened because of the seemingly endless threats from the Trump administration during this process against Canada. And we are hearing some threats right now that the U.S. will impose tariffs on our aluminum exports. So it does come at a time of heightened tension, but I think there is a lot of relief. And we heard from Prime Minister Trudeau on this saying, look, the world is very uncertain right now, and we at least have nailed down this deal. Like it or not, this is happening. This brings some certainty to the Canada-U.S. relationship.
Let's move on to Alberta Premier Jason Kenney making a big announcement, trying to reboost Alberta's economy. I remember when Alberta rebooted their economy, years ago under Don Getty, and the province ended up with a lot of brown brick buildings. There was a lot of building projects going on, and it looks like it's going to be the same this time around.
That's a really interesting comment, because part of what Premier Jason Kenney said is part of his pitch to companies to come back to cities like Calgary is that they have so much office space right now because it's been vacated, because of what's happening to the economy right now. And that's clearly part of his pitch to companies that have moved to the US and other places to come back by lowering the corporate tax rate by 20%, investing in infrastructure across the province. And we are going to hear more from Premier Kenney about how the province plans to diversify its economy, invest in industries outside of oil and gas, other energy sectors, IT, tourism, culture. This is really part of a big push, and it's very ambitious in order to get Alberta back on track, which has been doubly hit by COVID-19 and the decline in oil prices.
Laura, really quickly, just before we go, Conservatives are now asking for an investigation, Auditor General Karen Hogan, to look into the $900 million grant that was handed over to the We Day charity. This is to help outsource the Canada Student Service Grant. The Conservatives saying, look, there weren't a lot of other charities who were allowed to bid on this. And so what are they hoping the outcome is from this? And can they really do anything? Because it's a grant program and we're into summer.
Well, look, I think the Conservatives are trying to at least make the public aware that this program is being run outside of the government. And their complaint to the Auditor General is that there will be no oversight to this $900 million program. I'm sure they want to know more about why this company was chosen, this organization. The Prime Minister has said that the Public Service recommended it, but the Prime Minister and his wife also have ties to the We charity. So the Conservatives are saying that they want an outsider to come in and do a sweep of this program. We'll see if the Auditor General bites, and whether this would happen anytime soon. But the Conservatives certainly want to draw attention to the fact that this is happening.
Well, there certainly are a lot of close ties. Sophie Gregoire Trudeau hosting a podcast for We Day. In fact, it was at a We Day event in Europe where she contracted the COVID virus.
Absolutely. And so I think when this was first announced, there was a lot of questions as to how this charity received this very large contract. As you mentioned, you're right. Even recently we heard Sophie Gregoire Trudeau at one of these events where she did end up getting COVID-19. The Prime Minister did not contract it, but they do have ties to this charity. And it will be interesting to see whether there is any documentation or proof as to the public service recommending WE for this program.
All right, Laura Stone, good to talk to you on this Canada Day edition of
I'll be emailing you, Anne-Marie.
Politics. Happy Canada. Okay, good. I've got lots of extras for you. Thanks, Laura.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.